A pleasant breeze was blowing through the streets of Boston in autumn. As the library's closing time approached, Lisa Morgan glanced at her watch while seeing off the last visitor. She had just 15 minutes to pick up her son Noah from after-school care. "Lisa, you can go ahead and leave. I'll clean up here," her colleague Martha kindly offered. Lisa began gathering her things with a grateful smile. She had worked as a librarian at the small library for 8 years. Her life wasn't glamorous, but her quiet existence with her 8-year-old son Noah was peaceful and warm. "Thanks, Martha. I'll definitely make it up to you tomorrow," Lisa replied while readying her ponytail. Since her divorce 3 years ago, she had been doing her best as a single mother. Her marriage to David had been happy at first but gradually grew cold. David suddenly left, saying he didn't have feelings anymore. After that, he became someone who only visited Noah once a month. While driving, Lisa remembered the envelope that had arrived that morning. It was an invitation to her sister Ashley's wedding. The moment she opened it, she felt a tightness in her chest. The invitation clearly had Lisa and Noah's names on it, but unlike other family members, they were instructed to enter through the staff entrance. Lisa knew all too well what this meant. When she arrived at the after-school center, Noah was waiting by the window. Lisa couldn't help but smile at the sight of her son reading with an earnest expression that seemed too serious for his small frame. Her smart and compassionate son was her pride and her reason for living. "Mom." Noah's face lit up when he spotted his mother. Embracing her son as he ran to her, Lisa could forget the pain in her heart for just a moment. "How was your day?" "The teacher read my essay to everyone. In front of the whole class." "That's wonderful." On their way home, Noah happily continued talking about his day at school. But as soon as they arrived home, Lisa's smartphone rang. She sighed deeply at the sight of a mom displayed on the screen. Eleanor Kelly was the president of the most successful real estate company in the Boston suburbs and Lisa's mother. She was a woman who always prioritized perfect appearances and social status, and she didn't hesitate to call her divorced daughter the family's disgrace. "Hello, Mom." "Lisa, did you receive the invitation?" Eleanor's voice was cold and sharp. "Yes, I got it this morning." "Wonderful. You saw the staff entrance instructions? You and Noah have special roles." Lisa bit her lip nervously. "What do you mean?" "I shouldn't have to explain. It's Ashley's special day. Please make yourself useful for once. And make sure Noah wears proper clothes. Don't dress him in something embarrassing." After the call ended, Lisa leaned against the counter and exhaled deeply. Since her childhood, her mother had always favored her sister Ashley. Ashley was ambitious like her mother, ran a high-end boutique, and was now engaged to Jason Griffin, the heir to a wealthy construction company. "Mom, are you okay?" At Noah's concerned voice, Lisa forced a smile. "I'm fine." That was Grandma on the phone. "About Aunt Ashley's wedding. Are we going?" "I want to go. I want to see Grandma and Aunt Ashley." Lisa's heart ached at her son's innocent words. He wanted to be accepted by his grandmother and aunt, yet Eleanor and Ashley continued to treat even Noah coldly. The only family member Lisa could rely on was her father Joseph, who had passed away 7 years ago. Since the death of her kind and fair father, Eleanor and her sister's attitudes had grown even worse. "Of course we'll go," Lisa replied, touching Noah's soft cheek. "We'll get to see Aunt Ashley's beautiful dress too." That night, after Noah had fallen asleep, Lisa sat on the living room sofa and opened the invitation again. The luxurious paper with gold trim elegantly read, "The wedding of Ashley Kelly and Jason Griffin." On a separate sheet was the cold instruction addressed to Lisa and Noah, "Please enter through the staff entrance. Details will be provided by Eleanor on the day." Lisa took out an old album and flipped through childhood photos. Ashley smiling in their mother's arms, and herself always standing a bit apart. Only their father had tried to love both daughters equally with open arms. "Dad, how different things would be if you were here," Lisa whispered as she ran her finger over her late father's photo. On the wedding day, Lisa felt anxious as she adjusted Noah's small tie. They were driving toward a luxury hotel in the Boston suburbs. Noah was excitedly looking out the window from the back seat. "Mom, what kind of help will we be doing today? There was something written on the invitation, right?" Lisa smiled, though her heart ached. "I'm not sure myself. Grandma will tell us." When they arrived at the hotel, the parking lot was already filled with luxury cars. Lisa found the designated staff entrance and walked around to the back of the building, holding Noah's hand. When she opened the door, Eleanor was waiting, dressed in an elegant gown. "Finally, you're here," Eleanor said, glancing at her watch. "We were about to be late." "We're right on time according to the invitation, Mom," Lisa quietly replied. Eleanor ignored Lisa's words and turned to Noah. "Noah, you have a special role today." She picked up a white shirt and black vest that had been placed beside her. It was clearly a child-sized waiter's uniform. Lisa stared at her mother in disbelief. "You can't be serious? Noah is only 8. "This is the condition on the invitation," Eleanor coldly answered. "If you want to attend, please cooperate." "Are you trying to ruin Ashley's wedding?" Noah listened to their conversation with a confused expression. "What do I need to do?" Eleanor handed him the child-sized waiter uniform. "You have a special job. You'll serve drinks to the guests and clear plates. It's simple." Lisa grabbed her mother's arm, trembling with anger. Noah was invited as a guest. "Don't treat him like a servant." "Be quiet," Eleanor said harshly in a low voice. "This is what Ashley and I decided. If you don't like it, you can leave." Lisa looked at Noah. Tears welled up in his eyes, but bravely he said, "It's okay, Mom. I can help." Noah put on a smile to reassure his mother and accepted the uniform. Though filled with strong indignation, Lisa chose to endure for her son's sake. They had Noah change into the uniform in a small changing room. Looking at her son's reflection in the mirror, Lisa nearly couldn't hold back her tears. "You look handsome, Noah," Lisa lied. "Mom will be right beside you." When they entered the banquet hall, they were greeted by lavish decorations and flowers. Hundreds of guests were already seated. Lisa searched for a place card with her name but couldn't find one for Noah. "Lisa, over here," Eleanor beckoned. She led Lisa to a small table at the edge of the hall. A paper-marked staff was placed on the table. And at Noah's seat was a card boldly labeled waiter. Surrounding guests whispered and laughed at the sight. Lisa felt her face grow hot. "Noah will sit with me," Lisa said. "No," Eleanor said firmly. "He has work to do now. The hotel staff will show him what to do." Though his lips trembled, Noah tried to act brave. "It's okay, Mom. I can help." Just as Lisa was about to say something, cheers erupted in the hall. Ashley had appeared. She was draped in a luxurious white wedding dress, leaning on Jason's arm. The couple walked around the venue, greeting the guests. When Noah saw Ashley, he waved his small hand. Ashley glanced at Noah for a moment but pretended not to notice. Then she raised her champagne glass and said sarcastically, "Don't ruin my wedding, little waiter." The surrounding guests laughed at her remark. Eleanor smirked and said loudly enough for Lisa to hear, "If you want to be part of the family, you must serve first." Lisa felt her clenched fists trembling. The wedding host encouraged everyone to take their seats, and the ceremony began. Noah was taken by hotel staff and given instructions in a corner of the banquet hall. Lisa watched her son's small back, feeling as if her heart would break. After the ceremony, when the reception began, Noah started carrying water and champagne on a small tray. His small hands trembled with the weight of the tray. Lisa tried to help him several times but was stopped by Eleanor. "Stay seated. He's doing fine," she said. Noah diligently carried food, poured water, and cleared plates. Some guests looked at him with sympathetic eyes. An elderly woman gently patted Noah's shoulder and said, "Thank you, little one." Olivia, the venue coordinator, was troubled by Noah's situation. She approached Lisa's table and whispered, "This is abuse. Why are you letting your young son do this? With tears in her eyes, Lisa explained the situation. She confessed that Noah had been treated the same way at every family event for the past 2 years. Since my divorce, my mother and sister have looked down on us, especially my son Noah. Lisa's voice trembled. Olivia's face showed indignation. This is terrible. I might be able to do something. Lisa hesitated. What do you mean? Trust me, Olivia said quietly. Leave it to me. At that moment, there was a noise from across the banquet hall. Noah had dropped a glass. Water splashed on the floor, and the glass shattered. The venue fell silent for a moment. Eleanor immediately stood up and grabbed Noah's arm. How embarrassing, she scolded. Lisa rushed from her seat to her son. Noah, are you okay? Are you hurt? Ashley approached with an angry expression. You're shameless too. Don't cause trouble on my special day. Noah's lips trembled as he tried to wipe up the spilled water. As Lisa helped her son up, Olivia came to assist them. It's all right, calm down, Olivia said kindly. I'll clean this up right away. Olivia whispered to Lisa, I can do something. Trust me. Noah stood up, holding back tears, and Lisa encouraged him, just a little longer, sweetie. Eleanor sneered, saying loud enough for others to hear, that child only brings shame to the family name. Just like Lisa. The reception continued as scheduled. Though Noah couldn't hide his tired expression, he kept working diligently. Lisa felt pained watching her son but couldn't leave her seat, conscious of Eleanor's watchful eye. Soon it was time for speeches and slideshows. Walter, Jason's father, stood up and gave a touching toast. Next, Jason's friends took turns giving speeches, and the venue was filled with warm laughter and applause. And now, let's view a special slideshow of memories from our treasures, Ashley and Jason, the host announced. Ashley stood up and took the microphone. Today, I want to share with you all the proof of my perfect life and wonderful family, she said proudly. Please enjoy the story of our love. The lights in the venue dimmed, and images appeared on the large screen. However, what was projected wasn't the planned romantic couple photos. The first footage showed a Christmas party. Noah carrying a small tray, serving drinks. The camera appeared to be from Noah's smartphone, as it shook slightly. What is this? Ashley exclaimed in surprise. The footage continued, switching to a scene of Eleanor and Ashley talking. Lisa's child is really useless. Can't he move any faster? Eleanor said, to which Ashley responded, he's proof of the shame born from a failure mother. Their voices rang out clearly. A deathly silence fell over the venue. Jason stood up in shock, exclaiming, what is this? Ashley panicked, shouting, someone's playing a prank. This is a lie. But the footage continued. The next scene showed Ashley drinking wine with friends. I'm only marrying Jason for the money. I just want his daddy's construction company, Ashley laughed as she spoke. Murmurs rose from the audience. Jason's face visibly paled. He stared at Ashley, asking, is this true? Ashley desperately denied it. No. It's been edited. The footage continued, showing Eleanor telling Ashley, let's use Lisa's child to subdue her, and Ashley planning to deliberately humiliate Noah. If we make him pretend to be a servant every time, eventually Lisa won't be able to stand it and will stop coming. Then we'll have the perfect family, Eleanor's voice echoed. Lisa was stunned but looked for her son Noah. He was standing in a corner of the venue, gripping a smartphone in his small hands. His eyes showed determination. In an even more shocking scene, Ashley confessed to Eleanor, I'm after Jason's family fortune. He's just a stepping stone. After we're married, I'll buy up property in his name. And when we divorce, half of it will be mine, Ashley's calculating voice resounded throughout the venue. Walter, Jason's father, stood up in fury. What is the meaning of this? The next scene showed Eleanor and Ashley discussing the backstory of Lisa's divorce. It was easy to seduce Lisa's husband, Ashley said, to which Eleanor replied, yes, that stupid man took the bait immediately. It was also easy to make him believe Lisa was cheating. Someone stood up at the back of the venue. When Lisa turned around, she saw her ex-husband David standing there. He hadn't been invited but had come to see the wedding for some reason. What did you say? David trembled with anger. I was told she cheated on me. The venue was in complete chaos. Guests raised voices of surprise and anger, looking at Ashley and Eleanor with accusing eyes. Who is responsible for this? Walter, Jason's father, shouted. Olivia stepped forward and answered in a calm voice, I am. After seeing Noah's recordings, I decided this should be made public. Ashley screamed, this is edited footage. It's Lisa's jealousy. Eleanor also accused, Lisa, has your jealousy gone this far? Noah bravely stepped forward. Standing in the center of the venue with his small body, he began to speak in a trembling voice. I've been recording everything, he said. I wanted everyone to know how Grandma and Aunt Ashley have been treating Mom and me. Noah pulled out his smartphone. I have plenty more evidence. Eleanor furiously approached Lisa. This is your doing, isn't it? Using your son to frame us. Lisa calmly stood up and looked her mother straight in the eyes. Mom, I didn't do anything. Noah just recorded the truth. Lies. Eleanor screamed. You must have instructed him. No, Noah said in a small voice. I did it on my own. Mom didn't know. Jason grabbed Ashley's arm and stared at her with cold eyes. Answer me. Is this true? Ashley broke down crying, begging, Jason, please believe me. But Jason's expression remained icy cold. He pushed Ashley's hand away and took the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, Jason's voice was firm and resolute. Today's wedding is cancelled. I cannot build a marriage on such lies. Gasps of surprise rose from the audience. Ashley cried out, Jason, please, clinging to his arm, but Jason coldly pushed her away. Lisa rushed to Noah and embraced him. It's okay, now. Mom will protect you, she promised. Noah said in a small voice, I'm sorry, but I couldn't stand it anymore. His small body trembled in his mother's arms. You don't need to apologize, Lisa gently kissed her son's cheek. You were brave. Eleanor and Ashley continued to make excuses, even as they faced disapproving looks from former friends and acquaintances. But the video evidence was clear. Their cruelty and calculation could no longer be hidden. The confusion in the venue showed no signs of subsiding. However, in Lisa and Noah's hearts, there was a quiet sense of relief, as if they had been freed from a burden they had carried for a long time. The turmoil in the venue continued unabated. Guests split into small groups, talking excitedly, and some began taking photos and videos on their smartphones. Ashley's friends surrounded her, trying to comfort her, but she remained inconsolable. Eleanor tried to regain her dignity by straightening her back and saying, this is just a misunderstanding. I can explain everything, but no one was willing to listen to her anymore. Lisa held Noah close, still unable to fully comprehend the situation. Tears streamed down her cheeks, not tears of sadness, but tears of relief from being freed from years of burden. Lisa. Turning around, she saw David standing there. His eyes reflected confusion and regret. Lisa felt a tightness in her chest at the sight of her ex-husband. Can we talk? David asked softly. Lisa hesitated but nodded. They moved to a corner of the venue, and Noah sat next to his mother, looking tired. I was told you were cheating, by your mother. David confessed, stumbling over his words. Those photos? Photos? Lisa asked in surprise. Photos of you with another man. Eleanor showed them to me. But they were fake, Lisa said quietly. I never cheated. David's expression twisted with anguish. I can't believe it. I've been deceived all this time. At that moment, the venue's screen lit up again. Olivia was playing new footage. It showed Ashley trying to seduce David and being rejected. "Your wife is cheating on you. You'd be happier with me," Ashley's voice echoed. "You must be joking." "I love Lisa," David answered firmly. Immediately after, Ashley could be heard saying, "Forget about that woman. But don't worry, I'll provide you with good evidence soon." New murmurs arose from the audience. David's face turned pale. "Those photos, she set it all up." Lisa stared at the footage in shock. Everything was starting to make sense: the true reason for the divorce, the cold treatment from her family, and the mistreatment Noah had endured. David took Lisa's hand. "I've always wanted to know the truth. Could we start over?" Lisa wore a complex expression but answered, "Right now, I just want to think about my son." 3 years of separation had created a gap that couldn't be easily bridged. Meanwhile, Jason's family couldn't contain their anger. Particularly his mother Martha, who confronted Ashley, "Is this your true nature? Were you trying to use our son, our family?" Jason was trying to regain his composure, but his eyes reflected deep sadness and anger. After exchanging words with his father, he gave instructions to the venue's security guards. Rachel, Jason's cousin and a lawyer, spoke up. "Noah, can you show me these recordings? Eleanor and Ashley's actions may have legal implications." Eleanor was furious, shouting, "I can't stay in a place like this," as she tried to leave. However, security guards stood at the entrance. "I'm sorry, but on Mr. Jason's instructions, we're asking everyone to remain here for a while," a guard announced. The color drained from Eleanor's face. "What? Are you planning to detain us?" "No, we're just asking you to wait until the police arrive," another guard calmly replied. Ashley sobbed, begging Jason, "Please forgive me, please." But Jason's expression remained icy cold. "It's too late, Ashley. It's all over." Walter approached Lisa and Noah. His expression was stern but somehow warm. "I apologize as a family for the humiliation you both have endured," Walter bowed deeply. "Would you please tell us the truth?" Lisa, Noah, and David were led by Walter to a separate room in the hotel. Martha and Rachel were already waiting there. "First, let's get this child out of that uniform," Martha said kindly to Noah. "You're a very brave boy." Noah lowered his head shyly but took off the waiter's uniform and put on a jacket that Jason had brought for him. The tension visibly drained from his small body. "Please tell us the whole story," Rachel maintained professional calm, but her eyes held anger. Noah took out his smartphone and began showing more evidence he had recorded. "I recorded whenever Grandma and Aunt Ashley said bad things. Dad taught me that a truth should always be recorded." David, who was also present, looked surprised. "I did teach him that, but I never imagined he'd put it into practice this way." He patted Noah's head, visibly moved. "Son, well done. You're brave." Noah smiled happily at his father's praise for the first time. "Really, Dad?" "Really," David embraced his son. "You're an amazing kid." Rachel carefully examined Noah's recordings. "This is serious evidence. There seems to be fraud in Eleanor's real estate dealings as well." "What do you mean?" Lisa asked in surprise. "There's evidence that your mother's company was trying to buy Jason's family's land at an unfairly low price," Rachel said with a stern expression. "This could be charged as fraud." Walter's face reddened with anger. "So that's why she wanted her daughter to marry my son." While discussions continued in the separate room, the police arrived. After being briefed on the situation, the officers returned to the venue to question Eleanor and Ashley. On Rachel's legal advice, evidence of Eleanor's fraudulent activities was submitted to the police. Ashley would also be questioned as an accomplice. Once things had calmed down a bit, Lisa and David found time to talk quietly by a window in the hallway. "I want to talk again, for our child's sake," David said with a serious expression. "I should have listened to your words more carefully back then." Lisa looked out the window and quietly replied, "We can't go back to how things were easily. But, for Noah's sake, maybe we can talk little by little." David's face showed relief. That's enough for now. Thank you. In a small lounge away from the venue, Noah was beginning to bond with Jason's nephew. They were the same age and engrossed in talking about video games. For the first time in a long while, Noah's face showed the innocent smile of a child. Seeing this, Martha said to Lisa, "This child is special. To reveal the truth with such courage, even in this situation." Lisa nodded slightly, watching her son. "He's a strong child. Much stronger than me." Jason approached Lisa and quietly said, "Thank you for your courage and your son's. You saved my life." Lisa returned a smile. "You were brave too. You had the courage to accept the truth." The grand wedding was cancelled, but there was a new beginning. A true family bond built on truth. For Lisa and Noah, it was something precious that had been lost for a long time. At dusk, Noah stood alone in the hotel garden, looking up at the sky. When Lisa approached, her son said in a small voice, "Mom, this was the right thing to do, wasn't it?" Lisa sat next to her son and embraced his small shoulders. "Yes, you did the right thing. Truth can be painful sometimes, but that's the beginning of real healing." Noah leaned against his mother, looking relieved. 3 months later, Boston had changed seasons from autumn to winter. Lisa and Noah's lives had changed dramatically since that day. They had moved from their old apartment to a small house in the Boston suburbs. Surprisingly, Jason's parents had supported them. Walter and Martha said, "To make up for the pain our family caused you," and helped with the down payment and moving expenses. Lisa was hesitant at first but accepted their offer for Noah's sake. From the windows of their new home, they could see a small garden and a park beyond. Noah had made friends at his new school and had become brighter and healthier than before. The walls of his room were decorated with photos of friends and school achievement certificates, with nothing to remind him of the painful past when he was treated as a waiter. Lisa had also started working as a library director at a new workplace. The local public library highly valued her talent and experience, entrusting her with a more responsible position. She had launched reading clubs and programs for children, becoming someone respected by many. Saturday mornings now routinely included David taking his son to baseball practice. Lisa and David had begun dating again, slowly repairing their relationship. Now that the truth about their divorce had come to light, they were overcoming past misunderstandings and valuing their time as a family. David had also repaired his relationship with Noah, deepening the father-son bond. "Would you like to go to the lakeside cottage with the family sometime?" David suggested to Lisa one day. "I think Noah would enjoy it." Lisa smiled and replied, "That sounds nice. But it might be too early to call us a family yet." David showed understanding but didn't give up hope. Their relationship was progressing step by step, surely. Meanwhile, Eleanor and Ashley's situations had completely changed. Eleanor was indicted for fraud, and her real estate company became the subject of thorough investigation. Ashley's boutique had lost customers and was on the verge of bankruptcy. Their reputations had plummeted, and even their former friends had abandoned them. Ashley had tried to contact Lisa several times. At first, Lisa wasn't ready to respond, but as she heard that Ashley had begun counseling and seemed to be sincerely reflecting, she started to open her heart little by little. "I might be able to forgive her someday. But not yet," Lisa had explained to Noah. Eleanor, awaiting trial, was participating in community service on her lawyer's advice. Ironically, she ended up working at a shelter for underprivileged children. For the first time, she seemed to be learning how much her actions could hurt others. Jason had called off the wedding and was focusing on his work at the construction company. His parents thought of Lisa and Noah as their own family and had begun inviting them to their home on weekends. One winter evening, Lisa received a letter from Eleanor. It contained only the short phrase, "Please forgive me." Lisa didn't write back, but she kept the letter instead of throwing it away. She thought that someday, when the time was right, there might be a day when she could forgive. At dusk, Lisa and Noah sat on the porch of their new home, watching the snow that had begun to fall. "Mom, we found our real family, didn't we?" Noah said. Lisa embraced her son, tears flowing. Yes, Noah. Where there is truth and love, that's where real family is. The snow continued to fall silently, as if blessing their new beginning, blanketing the streets of Boston in white.